Welcome to the Dog Advisory Council, a trusted resource for dog owners and enthusiasts. Today we will be talking about if you can feel the microchip in a dog and what does it feel like. In most cases, you can't feel a microchip in a dog when it has been properly inserted between the dog's shoulder blades. It's inserted this way deliberately to keep it in place and also make sure your dog doesn't have any kind of discomfort from it either. If a microchip moves around, however, sometimes owners can feel it, especially in smaller dogs with thin fur. Microchips are placed directly between the shoulder blades through a tiny, virtually painless insertion by vets. The microchip will settle into the skin between the shoulder blades and it is protected from harm and is also out of the way for your pet to pick at or dislodge. A microchip is tiny, much like most things computer-related these days. It is basically the same length and circumference as a grain of rice. It will feel like a tiny narrow lump under your dog's skin. The tiny size alone means that deliberately hunting for the microchip with the naked eye in your hands is very challenging, especially if your dog is very fluffy. The microchip is so small that when it is inserted into your dog, he doesn't even realize it half the time. If you want to try to locate the chip with your hands and with your eyes, you can definitely try to do that. This is most often easier if you have a small dog with thin, short fur. The easier way, though, is that you can use a microchip scanner to do it. This looks like a security wand and you would wave it over the dog's shoulder blades while pressing the button. If there is a microchip, the serial number will show up on the scanner and then that serial number can be used to connect the dog to the owner who has it registered. In most cases, you won't have to pay a vet to have a microchip scanned. This is because they assume you've found a stray dog, and you want to get him back to his family. So, if you discover that a stray does have a microchip, don't be worried about a vet bill. Take him in, or consider taking him to a rescue shelter. Most have scanners there. Also, most microchip kits include dog collar tags that you can attach along with his name tag and immunization tags. This tag includes the serial number so that your dog won't have to be scanned with the scanner, though many will just to make sure they match. A microchips can move in a dog, so if you've discovered a straight microchip-shaped lump in your dog's shoulder or on his chest, or even on his back, it could be it. Since they are not tethered down to a bone in your dog, sometimes roughhousing and playing, or just general dog life can cause the microchip to wiggle around and even relocate itself. Don't be alarmed, your dog will be totally fine. You don't need to have it removed and reinserted or anything like that. Vets and other scanning specialists understand that microchips can move, especially over the years, so they will wave their wand all over the dog's torso to make sure that they don't possibly miss a scan. The relocation of the microchip shouldn't impact its usability if it needs to be scanned to get him home, though you can keep an eye on its location if you're especially worried about it. Most of us worry about growths and bumps in our dogs, and for good reason. If you can feel a bump between his shoulder blades or elsewhere and you're unsure if it's a microchip or something else instead, here are some things that you can keep in mind. Is it exactly the parameters of a microchip? If it measures exactly the dimensions of a grain of rice, and it's more or less in the right location, it's probably a microchip. What does it feel like? A microchip is going to be hard to the touch and narrow with rounded edges. It's very rare for a tumor or other growth to be all of those things. Most are soft, a different shape, or otherwise just feel weird. A microchip is going to feel very definitely like a microchip. Does it bother your dog when you touch it or poke at it? Another way to see if it's something organic or inorganic is to see how your dog reacts when you poke or touch it. If he looks to you like you're crazy, odds are that it's the chip. If he is distressed or moves away from you, it might be something else. Does your dog have a microchip? Okay, so this one is obvious, but some of us bring home dogs that have had previous homes. A lot of shelters and rescues will scan for microchips before they even list the pet as being available. But, the person down the street wouldn't know that. Whenever you bring a new dog home, you can ask your vet to scan for a microchip at his first checkup and that can help. If you know your dog for sure does not have a microchip, this may earn you a trip to the vet to get it checked out. If you want to learn more about microchips on dogs, click the link in the description below. If the information in this video was useful, please like it and don't forget to subscribe.